Democratic leaders finally be able to stand up to this extreme brand of politics? Or is it just going to be Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman as the only Democrat with an ounce of moral clarity and courage? Here with more tonight's stories, Senator Fetterman is with us. What's your reaction to this? Because to me, this represents nothing of the old Democratic Party that we once knew.
Yeah, no, I mean, the kind of people that are trying to run out of office. I mean, they're just good traditional kinds of Democrats you would have expected in New York City now. And now this has just become it's just been the dancing days of the dirtbag left. With some of these candidates are outrageous. You have candidates, they abolish ICE, abolish the police, abolish the border. And she even said F Kamala Harris and more of these outrageous kinds of things. And then you have like Mandami. He was grieving. Hamas sniper was killed by Israel just the other day, and he was grieving that. I mean, these are emerging the full pro-Hamas wing. A lot of these candidates that very likely are going to win tonight, just declaring a war on just regular Democrats.
All right, let me ask this: why the deep hatred for Israel? Why?
Yeah, because I mean, if you have such contempt for Israel, I mean, of course, you're also anti-American and you're anti-Western civilization, and you're Hustle in Maine. That's another one. He's a self-avowed communist too. Now that's not even looked down on and a significant part of the Democratic Party right now.
All right, let me ask you this: assuming Mamdani has a good night with his picks tonight, what does that mean for the Democratic Party nationwide? We've got Graham Plattner, we got Tallarico, you got El Sayed, you got Mamdani, you got Grandpa Bernie and Pocahontas and AOC. If Mamdani has a very successful night tonight in terms of the people he's supporting, what does that mean overall nationally for the Democratic Party?
Well, I mean, there's some people I would include in that, but there's definitely people like the guy in Michigan, but all of them have intensely anti-Israel thing. Now, I remain as really the last Democrat in the Senate that's proud to stand with Israel. Absolutely. And now these kinds of places like that coffee house are calling out a Jew that you're banned, just for what reason? I mean, that's what's becoming part of the Democratic Party. And now hating on Israel and essentially anti-Semitism has become like, the center of a lot of these primaries across the country. And definitely that we're witnessing in New York City.
But Senator, years gone by, you would be considered a mainstream Democrat. I was very close to Joe Lieberman, for example, a great guy. He would not want to be a part of this movement either. You're like the only person that is standing against it.
But not. I'm proud to stand with Israel, and I'm going to call out what I'm witnessing all across the country in all these races. And you have these kinds of candidates that are actively trying to cram as much anti-Israel and essentially anti-Semitism into their platform. And now these are the kinds of people that are winning right now. Now, whether it's a Nazi tattoo or if it's actually someone like a Chevalier going to the pro-Hamas rally on 10/8 after 10/7 and celebrating the 10/7 massacre. Look at these kinds of people and the circles that they're in. Look at the kinds of things that Mandami's wife had liked on social media. The kinds of music that she listens to, these views, that thing, just intensely anti-Israel and intensely anti-Jewish now.
Well, let me ask you this, because assuming they keep winning, let's say Mamdani has a big night tonight in terms of the people that he supports. What does that say for the future of people like you? Because I kind of look at you now on an island by yourself. What does it say about the future of the Democratic Party if formerly a mainstream Democrat like yourself is not even wanted in the party? Why do I think they will go after you? Why do I think they'd want to primary you? Why do I think they'd like to replace you with a more radical person?
And well, what I'm saying is, of course, I mean, yeah, people will come against me. And if the Democrats want a dirtbag with a Nazi tattoo, well, they've picked that in Maine, and he knows he'll win here. But whether it's P. Hustle or whether it's some of these radical people in Michigan or the ones in New York City that seems like they're going to win, I think I just saw one that's going to continue to lean in and proud to stand with Israel through the midterms, and definitely lean into 28 for sure, proudly.
Let me ask you about Iran, Senator, if I may. I think the president has been very clear. I believe he set back their nuclear program a minimum of 10 years. The president keeps saying he has time. He's not worried about the time frame. He's trying to work out a peace deal. He doesn't want to impact the 94 million people in the population of Iran, which I think is thoughtful. If he ruins the economy, I don't think they have a shot at coming back anytime soon. Do you think the president has adopted the right strategy?
Well, what I will say, I mean, because there's been plenty of people that are really angry or disappointed by the outcome, and there were parts of it that I definitely didn't like and wouldn't support that. But I will say that I will always support, and he made the right decision to actually bomb the nuclear facilities just last year in June. And also Epic Fury was a significant win too, to significantly degrade the military and to kill the leadership, without a doubt. And there are other parts of it that I don't support or really understand. But as long as I'm going to continue to follow Israel through all of this and their interest and the kinds of security that they demand. And for me, that's why I was being the only Democrat that would vote and continue to vote for it, just as if this afternoon, the nuclear dust. Now, I think I've read now the Iranian Revolutionary Guard agreed now to allow UN to check it out. But, whatever that is, but we can't ever you would look back and say that was the right thing to strike and try to destroy Iran. This is the kind of region they would kill every one of us, and they would love to destroy the Israeli civilization. Yes.
This just broke. Dan Goldman, who is discriminated against today, just lost to the Mamdani candidate. That race now has been called. Brad Lander beat Dan Goldman. That surprised me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me. I fully expect that, and I think you're going to see. I can almost guarantee. The one that calls to abolish police, abolish the border. There are no reasons to deport anybody, and abolishing prisons. I mean, she said all of this. She actually said F Kamala Harris. I mean, these are the people who we are electing, and they're going to send them here to Congress. Someone who wants to abolish our border and abolish prison. That's not a Democrat. That's a full-on lunatic. I can't imagine. This is the kind of model that we're going to win real elections. Yeah, you can elect someone like that in a district in New York, but when you're in a state like Pennsylvania, that's going to keep you honest. And my views now have put me out an outlier, but that is beyond absurd. Now, as we continue to witness what's happening, whether in Maine or Michigan or here, you're going to see what's going to happen here in New York as well.
Right. Hey,
that turns back migrants seeking asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. Senate and Iran. Senate Republicans have shifted their stance on an Iran war powers vote following a meeting with Donald Trump. Election updates. Marjorie Taylor Greene has stated she is finished with the Republican Party, while Alan Wilson won the South Carolina Republican governor runoff. Legal. A judge has barred the Trump administration from enforcing a proof of citizenship requirement for voting. International and environment. Venezuela earthquakes. Two massive earthquakes, 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude, recently struck the coast of Venezuela, causing building damage and triggering a temporary tsunami advisory. Heat waves. Record-breaking deadly heat waves continue to affect parts of Europe, with 40 drownings reported in France. Business and tech. Elon Musk. Following a tech sector sell-off, Elon Musk has lost his status as a trillionaire after billions were erased from his fortune. Snapchat lawsuit. Parents have filed a lawsuit against Snap Inc. after their 12-year-old daughter was allegedly raped by an adult man she met on the platform. Economy. The U.S. economy saw 2.1% growth in the first quarter, surpassing expected figures, largely driven by AI-related investments and consumer spending. Sports and culture. FIFA World Cup. Coverage is ongoing for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with high-profile matches like USA versus Turkey and Germany versus Ecuador currently in the spotlight. Sports transactions. Reports indicate a blockbuster trade sending LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Celebrity news. Lionel Richie abruptly cut his opening night concert short due to illness, and speculation continues regarding the potential wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Would you like more detailed information on any of these stories, or are you looking for coverage on a specific topic?
Just pick it up on the